right, top of the morning. So you are viewers, it's the beginning of another weekend. It's Friday, and you're welcome to today's edition of Now Streaming, reaching you from the ACNNTV here in Abuja. I am your anchor this morning, Korede Akitunde, and I have with me in the studio Barrister Mobola Giojo. Barrister.
It's nice to be here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to 2022.
Yes.
It's good to see you in the studio again.
Same here, same here.
Goals and resolution in this new year, many of us are looking for either a fresh start or an expansion of what we currently do. Some of us are involved in either starting our own business or expanding the existing one. So for some of us, it's coming together to start a cooperative one way or the other. Several ideas are going to be battered in the new year 2022. So to increase our knowledge on the legal aspect of starting and expanding our business, we shall be considering this topic this morning with Barrister Ojo. So
Thank you for having me.
thank you for being with us this morning.
Much.
So let's have there are a lot of small-scale business in Nigeria now. So you want to ask what are the legal things that people, because a lot of people have their business name that they are using to run little business around there. And so what should people be doing when they are starting a business? Because I've heard the story of someone who has been using a name. Is possibly his nickname turned into a business, and by the time he was exposed to doing the legal thing, the right thing, the name is not available. So what do you advise people?
Well, first of all, I would say it's very important that you register a business. You register your business. You know, there are lots of benefits. I'm going to talk on quickly about that. You know, we have a lot of, in Nigeria, because we take a lot of things for granted, we have a lot of unofficial transactions. That in the event, people say, first they're always afraid, I can't afford this. This perception that lawyers are expensive. So they say, lawyer, oga lawyer. But at the end of the day, when the thing happens, it's now more expensive because you end up either losing that thing you've been nurturing, or you have to pay so much to get it back in court and all that. So I think we'll avoid this headache and just pay this little sum. Because at the end of the day, in short, and in the way the legal system is structured is that you can get a lawyer to at various prices for you. It's not streamlined, it's not fixed. Some lawyers can collect higher, some depending on the lawyer and what he's doing for you and what he's offering you. So first of all, it's very important that if you are running a business, you should register it. I don't know if I should go into the various benefits.
Yes, we need to.
All right. So
first, in fact, what is the difference between registering a business name and registering as
a company? Okay.
Yes.
So first of all, we have 3 categories of registrations. We have companies limited by shares. We have companies limited by guarantee. Then we have companies limited by shares and companies limited by guarantee. Those are the 2 categories. Then under the companies limited by shares, we have about 4. So we have private limited companies. We have public companies. We have the other ones by guarantee. I won't go into that one because it's not very popular with people and all that. Then we have incorporated trustees. So these 3. I'll just talk on these 3: incorporated trustees, public companies, and private companies limited by private limited companies. So now public companies, then we have the partnerships, business name. That's companies registered under Part B. So we have companies registered under Part A, which is private and public companies. Companies registered under Part B, which is the business names. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. 3 categories: the business names, the partnerships, and all that. Then we have incorporated trustees, which are the NGOs, churches, ministries, and all that. So now, if companies under Part A, which are the private companies or public companies, these are companies that give you corporate personality. When we talk about corporate personality, one, it means that the company is an entity on its own, different from the directors. You can separate it. So yes, this company is run by a director, but it is an entity. That means it can sue and be sued in its own name. It can enter into contracts in its own name. It can buy shares in its name. It can do things. It can buy properties. in its own name.
Okay.
And then in the event where there's liquidation or the company collects debt and it cannot pay, you will sue the company, not the directors. Do you understand? Because you can change directors.
Yeah.
So it's not the directors that are liable, it is the company.
Okay.
So when they even buy assets, like houses and all in the name of the company, it's not the directors that own it, it's the company. So if they change the director, automatically the new director takes charge. There is continuity. That's one of the benefits. I'm talking of benefits even as I'm saying this. Then companies under Part B, which are the business name, are sole proprietorships, partnerships and all. Now those ones, they and their business are one and the same. You can't separate them.
Okay.
So one of the difference between this company business name and private companies or public companies is that in a business name, the sole proprietor is liable for anything that the company does. The business name cannot enter into contract in its name. It has to enter into contract in the name of sole proprietor, or when you put the company, you must say trading in the name and style of. You put the name and the proprietor. The proprietor's name, that is the person that owns the company, must be seen. It's usually used for one-man business. All these supermarket, all these mechanics along the road, they can have that. But what is the benefit of that is that, one, through this business name, they can collect loans. Through this business name, they can open bank accounts. Through this business name, they have some form of legal face. Do you understand? It helps. But most times, if they want to expand, maybe get in shareholders, investors, and all that, where they will grow their reach, then I always advise them to go into private companies limited by shares. Then public companies are companies that where you can now sell your shares to the public.
Okay.
So you can imagine, like MTN was a private company for a long time. People didn't know because private companies only sell their shares to restricted individuals. Okay. So as my friend, I can tell you, please, Mr. Corey, you come and buy shares in my own company. So as my friend, you are buying, which will be entitled to dividend as a private shareholder.
Okay.
But if I list it in the public, I don't need to know you. Hassan from Kaduna can buy shares, and I've never met him before, and he will get his dividend as when due from Nigeria, because my company is listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange. Like people are buying from MTN now, and all. So those are the various. Then majorly, like you were saying, the difference is that in companies, private companies and public companies, it's a separate entity. Okay. So you can buy properties and transact and enter transactions in its own name. Okay. You can sue and be sued, but business names doesn't have that privilege. Okay. You will sue the person in his own name. If he collects debt, the proprietor will be liable. Okay. But the only benefit you have as a business name is that you can open an account, you can borrow money. Okay. It gives you a sense of legal face. Okay. But generally,
so basically, what every micro business, what you are telling them is that at least they should have a business.
They should have a business at least, because so that people to start with. Okay. Because so that in case in an event where you want to do transactions, you can have an account number. People would trust, if they want to invest in your business, to pay into the company account than paying into your personal account, because there is proof. And then even tax payment too. You pay your tax so that at least the government can benefit from your business. Because if you are doing business in Nigeria, at least the government is entitled to benefit.
So now let's ask, how can this business name be done?
Okay, so you register it with the Corporate Affairs Commission. The Corporate Affairs Commission, which is CAC, is embedded and vested with the powers of registering businesses of various categories. Okay. Now with the new ease of doing business that was brought by the Vice President to empower and enable people to be able to register their own business. Now individuals can register their business. It is even provided in the new Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, where an individual now can register his business. Yeah. So as a person, I can just go on the CAC website, their portal, and everything is online. There is no going to CAC physically. Okay. So you can just go online, go to their portal, enter, create an account for yourself as an individual, and then you can, what they call it, register. But I always advise people, because most times a lot of individuals are novice, engage a lawyer. At least to help you through the process, and even to register it for you. Because it's just like now, they say, okay, you can build your house now. But would you rather build it yourself, you that doesn't know anything about building, or hire an engineer, so that you won't be one of those collapsed buildings tomorrow? Because I've seen a lot of people, they want to do it, but instead they get stuck. They enter the wrong objects. Now you have to now pay extra fees to change it. Wow. Do you understand? Some people, they don't put their names correctly as directors. But these are all things that a lawyer will avoid for you, because you know you are hiring an expert. Instead of escaping that little service charge you don't want to pay, you might end up paying it when you have to pay the penalties of correction and all that.
So how many business can an individual register?
You can register as many as possible. You are not limited. The only thing is that I just tell people, be ready to pay the tax when time comes. But the beauty of it is that the government has given time. For example, for private companies, for the first 18 months, you are tax-free. For business names, for the first year, you are tax-free, just to encourage you to be able to run your business. But subsequently after that, you start paying tax based on the percentage and the business as stated in the and what they call it, in the FIRS Act and all that, the amount, and then the finance.
So how is this related to tax identity number?
Okay, so the TIN number, that which is the tax identity number, is the number that is given to you
as an individual.
It's given to you as an individual, and even if it depends, if you are opening a business name, a tax identification number will be given to you. For the business name. If you are also opening a company, a tax identification number will be given to you as
it comes with the CAC registration.
It comes with the CAC registration. Now they've merged it. So you know, because you, especially for business name, it doesn't come, but with companies, private companies, and all, it comes with them. So as you are doing it, because you are going to do stamp duties with the FIRS, they would have sent you your TIN to your mail, the mail you provide. But for business name, when you want to open an account, you have to go to FIRS. A TIN has already been generated, but you won't know till you go to FIRS and ask for it, and it's for free. It's free. But the point of it is that you can't open a corporate account without your TIN number. And one of that reasons is that why they link your TIN number to your corporate account is that eventually they can know how much you've been coming as your tax. So that
are these tax deducted automatically, or you have to
you go and pay it. They don't deduct it from source. You have to go to apply to FIRS. They're going to calculate they will audit your account, calculate it, and tell you how much tax you are supposed to pay. But one of the reasons why people have to pay their tax is that it bites them is that when they apply for government jobs or bidding for international contracts, one of the things you must show is that your annual tax returns. And yes, if you are even doing business with an overseas company and they are coming to Nigeria as investors, one of the things they will look at in your books is, have you been paying your tax? In short, even CBN will require it. You must show your evidence of payment of tax returns. And at that time, most times I tell people it's always accumulated. They will now start begging for waivers and all that. So rather than wait for it to accumulate, just pay it every year, which is small. If you pay it every year, it's small. But if you try to evade it, the time comes, you now have one big contract. Your tax will be so much. I remember a client I was just doing something for a roundup here. He had to do a business with an oil company, and they had not paid tax for almost 15 years.
Wow.
By the time they calculated, he was running into millions. So he was now telling me, how could we act? So we had to start writing for waiver and all that. But even if they waive it, you still pay that substantial sum. But imagine they had been paying yearly. They won't have to deal with that.
Wow. Wow. So now what are the things that are required by CAC to register your business?
Okay, so first of all, you need your means of identification, whether your voter's card, your national ID card, international passport, any of them, but issued a means of identification issued by a government agency. That's one. You need a passport photograph which will be scanned, soft copy. You need your electronic signature, e-signature, because now everything is online. Then you need the objects of the company. The objects are the things, the areas that the company is going to look into. They do business in the nature of the business. For example, the objects like for a barber is to barb hair, sell maybe even barbing equipment and all those kind of things, run a barbing salon. So those are objects of the company. So you have to have stated that, the name of the company, what you want to call it. So that's the first thing you have to search, is this name available before you even start. So you have to look at that. So there are restricted names, there are prohibited names. For example, restricted names are names that people have already started using. So you can't use the same name for confusion. So that there's no, imagine there's already Unilever brothers. I want to call it your Unilever sisters. There will be people who think they're associated. So these are restricted names. You would have to get permission. You have to write to that company and they will have to give you permission to use it before CAC will give you the opportunity. Then there are prohibited names which most times you cannot use. For example, you want to use a like chamber of commerce, like maybe a government agency, a government name. Yes, those are names that are not within use. However, there are some names that maybe you want to use a name of a local government. You can write to the local government seeking permission, and the local government, you can see sometimes they'll say Alimosho Brothers Association. That's the name of a local government in Lagos. But you need to have gotten an authority from the Alimosho local government chieftain that you allow, or the chairman, they're allowed to do that before you can do that. So these are all dynamics. But your name, then the address where you want to do the business. Nature, the registered address is very important. Then the amount of shares for those that are running private companies. So you want 1 million naira shares, 2 million naira shares, 3 million, 10 million naira shares. I tell people the minimum is 1 million. And that's where anybody can start from for private companies. But if you ask, why do I need to buy more shares? It depends on the investment you want and the type of business you're doing. For example, if you are going into the oil business, you can't have a company that is less than 10 million share capital. If you want to trade in oil. If you want to also go into the bank business, I think it's about 25 million share capital if you want to start a bank. So these are the kind of things you have to look into. But if it's just an ordinary trading, buying and selling, you can start with 1 million. But if you're buying and selling business, you want to run a big supermarket where you're going to bring private investors and give them shares in the business, then maybe 1 million will not be feasible, because by the time you buy, you have to give them substantial shares that at the end of the year or whatever, they can be getting proper dividends. By the time you can start anywhere. Start with 1 million. If you can't do company, you can start with business name. Look at MTN. As big as MTN was when they came, they were a private company for years. It was just recently that they moved into being a public company and got listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange after they had made quite a number of money, an amount of money from this thing. So start anyway. I tell people you can grow. You can grow, you can keep expanding, then keep your books. Have a lawyer that consistently helps you to file your annual returns as and when due. Your annual returns is your yearly payment you make before the end of every 31st June, which is the end of every year, calendar year for the CAC. So you pay that, which is usually small, 5,000, 10,000. You can go on their website, you see all the fees you are supposed to pay there, your annual returns and all that. And then you have an accountant that looks at your books, audits your books, so that your tax payment, you already know this is how much you are paying in tax. Because you don't know, opportunities come tomorrow. Government gives grants. So maybe government will say they want to give grants in this thing, companies should apply. One of the things they will look at is, have you been paying your tax? If you've not been paying your tax, you have a problem there. Do you have a registered account? Because government will not pay money into your private account. They will pay money into your corporate accounts. These are things you have to look into.
Okay, so then one last question is, what happens if your CAC certificate gets missing?
Okay, you can apply for the CTC of a news. That's certified true copy of another certificate, which is at a fee. Just go online. You can enter the portal and apply. As long as you remember the RSC number of the previous company, which comes on the certificate, or at least even the name. You can just go and do public search. It's free. You just go type public. You can even Google public search for company CAC. It will bring out the name. Click on it. Then click the name of your company. Your details will come out for free. So you will see the RSC number there. Then you can apply for. I think it's about. Let me not say, because I don't want to spoil it for lawyers. But it's a small amount, and then it's something a lawyer can do for you. Yes.
All right. So your advice generally to the viewers, those who are.
I will advise every viewer to register their business and engage a lawyer. Especially because I have a friend that, most of my clients that run into problems, first, they don't engage a lawyer. They enter into informal contracts with people. Sometimes they just enter. I remember a client that we are still trying to even get him out of the mess. He entered a contract with somebody just because he wanted money. Quickly, sharp. And the guy gave him the money. At the end of the business went bad. COVID entered and affected him. And he had genuine reasons. And he couldn't pay back. And this guy started dragging him to police, blah, blah, blah. By the time we looked at the contract, it was ridiculous. And it was this guy's lawyer that drafted it. And he just did, he didn't engage a lawyer. So I tell people, engage a lawyer when you are entering your contract. Also, do business with your company name. So that in the event where anything happens, your company will be the one held liable, not you. So they will be dragging you to police station. Because when you involve police must collect money from you. Forget all this one. The police say they are trying to help. It's a lie. Police are happy. They will collect money from you. They will collect money from the other person. I will also tell the other party, let's not carry ourselves to police, because this money you want to collect, police will collect at least half of it.
Half of it.
And at the end of the day, will you be happy? So it's better when we enter contract, we also as lawyers look at ways that will be win-win. In the event where this one fails, how can we do this one? How can we protect each party? So these are the things. And if you have a registered business, you now have assets. I tell people, start buying assets, small, tables, chairs in the name of your company. So in the event where anything goes wrong, you can say, okay, we can't pay. We can sell these assets to pay and offset these debts.
Barrister Omobolaji Ojo, thank you for this very impressive discussion this morning. I mean, this is something that people will pay a lot of money to have, and which you have.
It's our New Year package.
So thank you very much. Thank you for coming on the show this Friday. We believe God for you to have a wonderful year.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right. In the words of world famous artist Michelin, your gift lies in the place where your value, passion, and strength meet. Discovering that place is the first step towards sculpting your masterpiece and your life. Viewers, this is where we call it a day today. And on today's program, till Monday, please be law-abiding and ensure you register to vote. I think the INEC has opened the portals for registration now. So please go and get your PVC if you don't have one.
Yes.
If your PVC is in the village, you can transfer it to where you are now. So all those things are even easier now. You can just log in on the INEC portal and do a lot of things there. So till we meet again next week, I am Korede Akitunde. Do have a wonderful and restful weekend.